countdown.
No, we're good now. It's recording.
Yep. Who messaged? Oh.
Just edit it out and post.
Fuck it, we'll do it live!
We'll do it live.
Alright.
Alright. Do the intro.
For fuck's sake. Welcome everybody to the 27th episode of Korn and Kock. We've got a very special guest today.
No, we don't.
Shut up.
No. Just kidding.
We've got a friend of ours, Dracula 9 Anti-Chapel, also known as Lamda in some circles. I don't know his real name, so I can't tell you.
Let's welcome in the guest.
Say hi, Drac.
Say hi to the
Hi,
fans.
Drac. Hi to the fans.
You don't have... Alright, Mr. Literal over here. Could you even...
You didn't establish ground rules, so...
Ah, shit. That was funny.
Did you hear what Stone was playing? He was playing like a hockey goal sound effect from...
It was the Carolina Hurricanes goal horn.
Oh, that's why it sounded like shit.
That was kind of the point.
Damn.
Alex. Jeez.
Are you okay?
That's what I'm saying. This cough won't go away, and I don't know what to do. I'm eating fucking gummy bears.
Here's what you do. You take a knife and you insert it into your throat. Problem solved. No more cough.
I'm thinking about doing that. Like, very close, but I'm not there yet. Anyways.
Anyways isn't a real word. God damn it. We've been through this like 30...
I will sock you in the face.
All right, Drac.
Grammar Nazi over
Give us a quick
Not
introduction.
a real word!
God damn it. Give us an introduction of yourself. Tell us a little bit more about you before we start.
There's really nothing to tell. I'm just some scrub that fake remixes game music because I have nothing better to do with my time.
Well, you're pretty good at it from what I've seen. You're also pretty good at art and being a cool guy.
And art?
Jeez. Could your dick be any farther down my throat? Alright, but
well, that depends. I haven't felt any stomach acid on the tip. I think we can go a little bit farther.
Damn.
Wait, what? I was not made aware that this was gonna happen, so can we call timeout?
What kind of... Hey, look. What kind of blowjob is as nice as a surprise one? That's why you didn't know.
Alright, I'm calling a timeout. I get 30 seconds on this one. You didn't say anything about a virtual...
Giving or receiving? You're gonna have a hard time fitting yours in there.
Hey, wait. Am I receiving or am I giving?
I don't know. You tell me.
That's what this timeout is for, so we can, like...
So we can discuss the semantics of this virtual blowjob?
Yes, please, and thank you.
Okay. So... Well, I was saying how cool of a guy he is. Therefore, I am sucking his ego dick.
So what does that make me? I'm watching.
Or shoving your well here. Look at it this way. If he's busy occupying my dick, you can shove your nose up my ass.
I ain't no brown nose. Can I just like comment?
Not with that attitude, you're not.
I'll be the play-by-play guy and the color guy, and then you two can. Well, he can go to town on you.
Stop. No, stop. Why you gotta make it about color?
Well, it's not all about color. It's also play-by-play. Well, actually, it's both at the same time. So.
I don't think color.
Oh, well, I'll just do play-by-play then. Of Alm giving you a virtual blowjob.
That's
right?
gay.
Okay, I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this, but there's an exception. If you're gonna do a play-by-play, you have to do it in a spot-on impersonation of Dan Dierdorf.
I don't know who that is. Can we try again?
Get the fuck out.
Alright, well, he said to get out, so I'm just gonna take off. Ow, my knee's cracked.
Yeah, get it. Yeah, I have no cartilage in my knees. What's your fucking excuse? Yeah, get out. Give the two of us some privacy.
Yeah, I'm giving right now.
You actually get up and leave.
Alright, I'm back in.
I think he went to go say hi to my cat or something.
Yeah, well, the cat gave me the middle finger, so, you know, I'm back in here.
That's about normal.
So, tell us about yourself. What's your favorite color?
That's a very basic.
Purple.
What was it?
No, yellow.
I couldn't
No,
hear
blue.
you. I couldn't hear you. Alm was giving me shit for asking a basic question.
Red. No, blue.
Blue.
Ah! Stone, have you watched Monty?
And the other side, I will not see.
Have you ever seen Monty Python, Stone?
I've seen, like, a clip here and there, but I haven't sat down and watched the whole thing.
Fair enough.
I would be...
Alex, you gotta get better friends.
What? Stone is like the best friend. What are you talking about?
But he hasn't seen Holy Grail.
That's highly
Get
debatable.
rid of him.
Well, hey, if I'm being honest, I've never watched the entire thing.
And podcast over.
Goodbye, everybody.
The record shortest. I don't even know what time we're at. That's got to be like 5-6 minutes.
All right, yeah. Play the outro. I'm just kidding. We're gonna keep going.
Editing this is gonna be a pain in the ass.
No, it won't be that bad.
You're used to that.
Oh man.
Oh man.
No, I'm telling you, Stone. This guy is like the best when it comes to like witty responses, like right off the bat.
I mean, I think if you, like I said, if you put the word homo in any response, I think that's, pretty not great, but it's pretty good.
Yeah. Why are you putting homo in it? You trying to make it gay?
We were just talking about virtual blowjobs just a couple seconds ago.
And? What's your point? It wasn't gay until you made it gay.
I mean, I don't know.
A dude on another dude. I don't know, man. That's pretty gay. Anyway, we were talking about this before the podcast started. Stone asked me a hypothetical. If you could read minds, but you had to say the word homo to one other person every single day, would you do it? And I mean,
I would.
I would. It seems like a pretty easy trade-off.
I mean, I would totally do it. I mean, why wouldn't you?
I don't know. On the one hand, it's kind of like, yeah, because it's like, on the one hand, yeah, there's so much shit that would be made a lot easier that way, but at the same time, it would, like, everything would, like, there'd be, like, there'd be no point to anything. You know what I mean? It'd be like being immortal. It'd be like being immortal. To a point, after a certain point, there's just no point to anything. With reading minds, it's like, what's the point of interacting with anybody if I could just read minds at any point?
That's true.
That is true.
You can use it against people to mess with them.
It's kind of like the pros, like, very outweigh the cons, so it's not really like...
The only con is, like, you'd get bored.
The only pro that I really see... Oh, should I say that? You can edit it out. You can edit it out if in the likely event this would cause a shitstorm. But, like, the only good I see coming of that, the only real pro for me, is diving into the mind of Daniel Page and forcing him to admit publicly that Mega Man Eternal was a fucking mistake.
Oh, I'm not getting rid of that.
That seems fine.
Well, Stone doesn't know the whole Daniel Page thing, okay, but I do, and you know what? I'm leaving that in. I'll take liability for that. I don't care.
It's not you that's gonna take liability. It's the entire community, because he doesn't seem to understand that individual people have opinions, and he ties it to everybody.
That is also true. Fuck. Stone, should we like let you in on this?
Well,
let him. Okay, here. I'll let him in, because it was basically me that started the whole thing, partially on accident.
Damn.
How much does he already know about Eternal? How much does he know?
Mega Man Eternal is a fan game that someone made.
I don't know anything about
and it is beyond bad. There are a few redeeming qualities, but the rest is so terrible that there's nothing you can really do about it. That it doesn't really make up for it. You have a developer whose basic mindset is, it's not a bug, it's a feature. I have a degree in computer science. I know more than you. You need to do more research. You can already imagine.
True.
And he and his girlfriend / fiance / wife / attack dog have basically, at the time, they made it a point to basically anybody that wasn't kissing the game's ass got censored, had posts deleted, whatever, what have you. Standard internet shithead.
That's lame.
Well, we were over, and I disclaimed this by saying that despite what Daniel Page might think, this was not a sight endeavor until a couple of assholes made it so. What I initially decided was, we were all talking about it. This is way back before Inc. had its own, Discord, and we were still using Ajax chat on the main site. Is we were talking about it, and I got the idea of like, well, what if I went over to his private forum, issued some complaints and grievances and the like with the game, and structure it and phrase it in such a way that it's digging into the details, but it's not necessarily rude or crass, just your standard run of the mill kind of thing.
Yeah.
And when he goes to inevitably delete the post, change my signature and avatar to basically get him to come over to our forum where he doesn't have that power or authority over the post, posts and the like, to where he can't delete anything he doesn't want to see, and force him to confront it in a way that he can't just get rid of it if he doesn't want to see it. On paper, this was a good plan. It became an issue because I made the mistake of publicizing that I was going to do this on our end. So what wound up happening is, after I had done it, and it played out exactly as I just said, made the posts almost within the hour, deleted, Account was locked, as you do. What had happened at that point was a bunch of other people who, and to a degree, it was very, very funny, but it was not a very good PR move. Is a couple other people came in and basically started, doing the same thing, but shit posting and fucking with them and yada yada and doing the same thing. So by the time he gets over to our site, he's already dealt with all the people that were fucking with them, whereas I was basically just trying to get him on a level playing field. So he's already pissy. And because of the nature of what we were doing, he got it into his head that this was a site community endeavor to basically fuck him over. Okay, fine. He came in, had him and his girl and whatnot, they started spying on the chat and screenshotting stuff and taking it out of context to, strengthen their argument, because gotta love cherry picking.
Real deep covert stuff here.
Yeah, I know, right?
Oh yeah, and we knew it was them. We knew it was them because it was like, the first 2 times it was their names, obviously, and the other times it was like, we've got a surprising amount, because by this time we had turned on the feature for guests to come into the chat, and it was just like guest whatever number, whatever the hash output was. So of course, by the time that had already gone down, we've got like, a very, what's the word? Abnormal surge of guests coming in and looking, and they all have the same IP address. So, I wonder who.
Well,
So they're coming in and they're screenshotting shit and taking it out of context to basically paint the site in a bad light, which is, by that point, just like, oh shit, this is not going to go well. By the time they had already started, debating with people on our site, where they could, it was in full swing. I'm not going to name drop. Somebody decided they were going to go and spam flood his board with porn. And then link back to our site.
oh, okay.
I'm sure you can guess how this looks and how it went. And that ended up devolving into I want to say almost 2 year, at least pushing 2 years, thing where he basically would do everything in his power to decry the entire site, the entire community associated with the site, on every public venue that he had access to, because in his mind we were some like, Marvel Hydra-like entity who had our tentacles and tendrils in everybody, and, we were making them say these things, and we were trying to destroy his reputation. Just a bunch of shit that wasn't true.
Yeah.
And if it was like, if it was me running the site, it wouldn't be a big deal. But because it was Ace Spark, who, had nothing to do, nothing at all to do with it, one of the just nicest dudes out there, chill as fuck. So, of course, this is all coming down on him, and he's got enough shit to deal with as it is that's stressing him out. Now he's got to play full damage control. So that played out and blew up again and again, and it would have its ups and downs over the course of that, 2 year period, where he'd be like, okay, he'd be fine, wouldn't hear nothing for a month or two. Suddenly he's got a new journal entry where he's shooting the shit, where he's, shitting on us again. Somebody would, come to the defense of the site. Rinse and repeat. Hasn't been as much of a problem the last year or two, but it became this big gigantic fucking thing, and it was just not pretty, not fun for anybody. And there is no small amount of guilt on my side, because although my intentions were fairly reasonable, shouldn't have fucking publicized that I was doing it in the chat, because then that got all the shitheads in and they fucked everything up. So there's more or less your story.
Well, I mean, that's kind of funny, because a few days ago I just told Korn about this. I was about to go to bed, and I usually go on YouTube and watch videos, and there's this video. I'd seen it before. In fact, I saw it a couple years ago, and I came across it again. It's this video of this college professor in a classroom, and a student yawns, and he just goes practically ape shit and starts yelling at the class and saying, just this whole thing.
Are you yawning in my class? If I have to hear one more over-exaggerated yawn, I'm gonna flunk you right now.
It's not even that. It was.
That's honestly not a bad comparison to what happened.
Well, what happened was, in the beginning, he said, trying to find out who it is. Of course, no one's gonna say, yeah, that was me. Punish me over here. Right. Everyone's gonna keep quiet. So he opens his rant with the following. This sounds like a bad script that the editor just did not do his job. He goes, my pleasant side is just as pleasant as my bad side is bad. And when I first heard that, I was like, is he trying to be Heisenberg? He's a teacher.
Dude, do not insult Walter White like that.
No. Well, no, get this.
That sounds like your fedora wearing 15-year-old who wants you to know that he can be your angle or your devil.
So because when I heard that, my first thought is, look, teacher dude, yeah, it sucks and it's, obnoxious that someone's yawning, but the only thing you can do is kick him out of the class and fail. There's no physical intimidation. You're a fucking teacher, I'm not saying
you're not scary.
Yeah, don't be mad. The only scary thing is,
and heaven forbid, don't pull the entire class in on this, because if it comes down to fisticuffs, you have the entire class against you.
I know, and then he encourages people to snitch, and I'm like, whatever happened to snitches get stitches, but I let that go. But here's my mistake.
Yeah, it's just like, what are you a teacher in? I hope you're not a teacher in history, because if you're gonna pick a fight one man against the entire class, have you heard of a guy called Custer?
I know. No, but this is my mistake. I commented on the video, and practically everything I just said, I put into the YouTube, comment. And this is at like 3:30 in the morning. So I went to bed, and I woke up the next day, and it was just
oh boy, here we go.
Yep, it was a floodgate of just negative, terrible, hateful feedback to me. It was kind of funny because I commented on my Rush Bauer page, so people were referring to me as Rush, which was kind of funny. But people were going like,
oh yeah, suddenly we're friends now. Ooh.
Yeah, I know, we're friends, but you're gonna, cyberbully me.
Rush, buddy, you're full of shit.
Yeah, they were commenting things like, I bet you're the kind of kid who would disrupt classes, and I bet you were bullied and blah blah blah, because I commented this guy was either bullied as a kid or was a bully. And that's what people are throwing in my face and blah, blah, blah. I had a couple people, try to defend me, but I'm just sitting there and I'm like, oh my God, what have I started? So I just deleted the comment, and I'm like, this is exactly why I don't comment on anything on YouTube, because people would just get a hard-on for standing up to some, 15-year-old kid in, Boise, Maine. And it's like, it doesn't do anything for anyone.
Very specific, sir.
Well, because it's like... 9.9 times out of 10, you comment on anything on YouTube, it doesn't fucking matter what you say. Somebody's gonna fucking start shit over it.
Yeah, I know.
And then they're gonna piss off 20 other people, and then those 20 people are gonna piss off that one person and 20 of his friends and 30 other people.
You like blueberries over raspberries? Dude, my little brother once put a blueberry in his pants. You're fucking gay, dude.
Yeah, I know.
I saw one the other day. If I could remember the video, I'd find it and read it word for word, because it is just that level of just But it was, I can't remember what the video was. It was some kind of soundtrack. I don't remember what it was, but it was some kind of soundtrack that sounded very much like Imperial March, Star Wars. Mm-hmm. I want to say it was a Zelda track. I don't fucking remember. But it wasn't no, it wasn't Imperial March. It was just, there was a certain section of the song where the instrumentation, the melody, the chord progression, yada yada, very much sounded John Williams' original Star Wars trilogy. Even down to the way the trumpets sounded, the way the trumpets and the brass sound. It sounded very, very close. And you had a bunch of people that were like, oh wow, this part here kind of, with timestamps, this part here kind of sounds like Star Wars. And there was one in particular where a dude was like, this doesn't sound anything like Star Wars. You kids don't understand anything. If you knew anything other than Star Wars, you know that this doesn't sound anything like Star Wars. You need to get out of your basements and get a life. And that started, of course, an entire fucking shitstorm. And it's just like, dude.
I'm a 37-year-old man, and I've been taking music theory since I was 10. I know more than you.
Jeez. I know.
It wasn't quite that. It was more of assuming that because somebody said something sounds like Star Wars, that's all that they know, that's the only pop culture that they can refer to, they have nothing else going for them. It's like, dude, it fucking sounds like John Williams, what the fuck are you talking about? But it just goes to show, it doesn't matter what you say, somebody's gonna start shit.
I know, really. You can even agree with what the video's saying. You can watch a video about how, I don't even fucking know, concussions, head injuries in football are not related to concussion-related injuries and dying at 50. You could go on that video and comment, I agree with it. And someone is going to comment and just turn it around on you.
That's just human nature. Everyone's always got to find they got to be right, so they got to come in and force their ideas.
Right, and it's like, and obviously, I don't know about YouTube, but I'm not counting the shit posters that do it ironically. purely because if you have any fucking brain in your head, you can tell that that's what they're doing. But the issue with that is because you're gonna, for every one person that understands that they're being ironic, whether or not they play along, for every one person that gets the joke that they're not being serious, you're gonna get 10 people that think they are serious, and that's gonna start a shitstorm. So like, you're fucked no matter what you do. So it's like, yeah, I rarely comment.
I was only pretending to be retarded. You all responded to my comment. Then he takes a
See,
sip.
that's how. Well, no, see, that's how you can tell. The ones that are actually fucking around, they'll do one of two things: they won't comment anymore, or they'll keep the train going. As soon as they say like, I was just pretending, you're all stupid, you got them.
I know it's
The legit ones say their piece and leave and laugh at the idiocy that continues, or they keep the joke going to see how many more people they can rile up. Those are how you can. That's how you can tell the legit, the ones that are actually fucking around. The ones that are just like, I was only pretending. Yeah, no, you weren't. You just got caught.
Yeah, no.
Good job, dude.
Just be on. That's what it's like. Just be honest. If you're
good job.
Mom, I started an argument on the internet today. Oh, good job, sweetie. Let's go to Cane's.
Good job. It's not even that hard to do.
Dude. Wait. Raising Cane's?
Yeah.
Great fucking restaurant.
I love that place. Dude, Caniac combo. 2 pieces of Texas toast, no coleslaw.
Dude, their Texas... Dude, I mean, I could gush about everything on their menu, but their Texas toast is so fucking good.
Right? It's the best.
As much as I love coleslaw, theirs in particular, as much as I love coleslaw, I will replace that shit for more fucking Texas toast because it's so goddamn good.
You know, speaking of Cane's, I've been going there with my family a lot recently, and it's great. I'm not complaining about the food quality, but every single time we go there, like I said, I really like the Texas toast, and my mom and little brother really like coleslaw. So they don't get the toast, they like sub it in. But like when we go, we usually get like 3 meals, and I'm like, all right, so we're gonna get 2 meals, and then we're gonna swap the toast in both of them. Like, I'm gonna take your toast, and then I'm gonna give you my coleslaw. And it's like, no, we have to get a meal and order it, one with both coleslaws and one with both toasts. And I'm like, but we can just swap it at home. We don't have to make it this complicated. And like, I'm not talking smack on anybody, but it's just funny to me how like I've never had that kind of like tension and an argument like factor when I've ordered at a fast food restaurant before. Yeah, I just find it funny. It's like it's just toast and coleslaw. Like,
you're making this harder than it needs to be.
Seriously. But food is delicious. So what's your opinion, Stone?
About food?
No. Yes, about food. It keeps you alive. It keeps you from being hungry.
Look, I eat food because I have to. I don't enjoy or look forward to eating food. Because I'm a picky eater.
You must eat some shitty food then.
Well, I eat fast food. I don't even eat 3 meals. I eat 2 meals a day, sometimes 1.
I do too.
Yeah, but you actually have a wide variety of food. I eat
burgers,
I've been
eating Kraft macaroni and cheese for lunch every single day for the past like 3 days.
I've never even had.
Hey there, buddy. Hey, did you say something about Kraft dinner?
From South Park.
Wow, I thought somebody like hacked this for a second.
Drac is really good at impressions.
I know. Why are we whispering? Is this a secret song by Mr. Bungle? Why do we have to talk like we're whispering?
I don't know.
Shitty Mongolians.
Oh, speaking of South Park, did you see the premiere?
I have not watched the newest episode, no.
Well, you're not missing out. It's not very good.
Have you watched it, Drac?
No, I wasn't even aware that they launched it yet.
Yeah, that's how I was. I kind of like the other day I saw an ad on Facebook.
Cancel
like
South
I never
Park.
go on Facebook, but I was just checking it on a whim, and I saw it, and I was like, oh, I guess they're making another season. They're still going with this shit.
They got at least one more season after this. But...
Look, as long as there's stupid shit going on in like politics and just in the world, South Park's always gonna be there. But it's just like, I'm not gonna say I don't like the new seasons. I do, but it's just like this. It's kind of a case where like the subject matter of like the world is so fucking insane now that they don't have to like make up goofy the same kind of like goofy, stupid, ridiculous shit they did in like earlier seasons, because you can't write this shit.
Seriously.
So so it's just like where a lot of people are like falling out of love with it. It's just like we're like, oh, it's lost its charm. It's like it's not really that it's lost its charm. It's just
they don't have to make shit up anymore.
Exactly. It's just like who needs the Mexican staring frog of southern Sri Lanka when you have an angry molesty Cheeto as the United States president. Like,
I don't know. It's like they don't even really have to have a writing staff. All they have to do is just turn on the news and just take some notes, and then bam, there's your script.
no, they have to. They can't listen to the news. It's fake. It's fake news.
Stone Cockler is a terrible person, okay? And frankly, he's retarded.
Frankly,
And he's not even that good. And he's not even that good at the drums. I myself am much better at the drums. I practice every day. I'm tremendous.
I am the best drum player of all time.
drum player.
My penis is huge.
Laws
Side note.
can suck my chode.
Side note. Do you think his dick has a little like fake blonde coif?
Who are we talking about?
Donald Trump, like, do you think his pubes are like fake, just like his hair?
Do you think he talks to his dick?
Hello,
Oh, you
Dick.
know
Good
he does.
morning. How are you?
Okay, I'm gonna give a mental image to you, and to all of the listeners, all 6 of them. Did I say that? Oh shit!
Oh shit! That's my response.
I fully accept it in my head
Damn.
that every morning Donald Trump stands naked in front of a full-length mirror, looks at his penis, and he goes, "Yes, we're gonna do great things today." And with every syllable, it gets a little bit more stiff, and by the time it's done, he's got a whopping half-inch.
Half-inch.
Half an inch, but it's a quarter mile wide.
Melania, come in here. This is incredible. It's never gotten this big before, okay?
Ah shit. You know.
And then you just hear her like just muttering, like just very demure, like, no, I don't really want to. No,
Oh, that's great, honey. Is there any rope lying around?
What was that line you said? It was something like, "Where's the rope and the Jack Daniels? I swear they're not related. I just want to know where they are."
Oh, it's like, hey, Mom, have you seen the bottle of Jack Daniels and the rope? I swear they're not related. They're just props for a play.
That's one of my favorite things you've ever said. I've ever.
I'll do you one better. Go into like a fucking Sam's Club or just any kind of store that sells where you can
Sam's
get
Club.
both of those things. Where you can get both, which is any store where you can get both of those things, and ask for that at checkout.
Hi, welcome. That's one of my favorite things that I've started doing recently is
What?
going out to like retail places, and when they ask you like, "Hi, how are you?" I'm just painfully blunt with them, just like, I don't know, my cat died last week. I've kind of been in a dark place recently, and they're like, "All right, paper or plastic?" And like just
Paper or plastic?
because either one of two things happen. They actually engage in a real conversation with you, which actually is, sometimes really nice,
Rare.
or they just drop it completely, and then you don't have to interact with them anymore. And it's good because I hate that like roboticized like, "Hi, how are you?" "Oh, I'm fine. Thanks." It's so like after working at Jimmy John's for like a year and a half, it's driving me nuts. And I know that people have done it for way longer than I've ever done it, but for me, it's always bugged me how it's like so fake, and it's so ingrained in our culture that it's like, well, why can't someone actually like answer that question honestly, and why can't we have like a little back and forth before I give you your chicken nuggets and you go home?
No, it's like you asked. Look, hey, what are you up to
Well,
tonight?
fun story about that. Fun similar story about that. If you go to like Germany and ask someone how they're doing, they'll fucking tell you.
I can believe that.
Like that is an actual, like, it's not like super common the way it'd be like, hey, if you go into Rio de Janeiro, don't fucking go out by yourself after dark. It's nothing like that, but I mean, there is definitely there is a thing where people are like, yeah, if you're gonna go to Germany, and like where you come from, it's just kind of like, oh, hey, how you doing? It's just like a casual, oh, I'm fine, how about you? Good, thanks, and then you just continue with whatever. Don't do that in Germany. They will fucking tell you.
I've heard Germany.
How am I doing?
I've heard going to Germany, they have the worst sense of humor. Like you can't, like you said, you can't.
No.
Even...
The stereotype that Germans have no sense of humor is completely fucking untrue. It's just that their particular sense of humor is most of the time not what people are expecting, especially people from like the West, America, the UK, whatever. Because it's just people just I guess people just aren't educated or they just don't know. But it's just like you have to remember that Germans, but you've got to remember that Germans are a very literal people. It's the language is very literal, the way of life is very literal, the way that they are socially is very literal. It's very much they say what they mean and they mean what they say. So it's like if a German cracks a joke, it's not going to be the same way an American or a Brit or whoever's going to tell a joke, it's just kind of like, unless you can understand that kind of literalism, you're not going to get the joke. And then suddenly it's just like, oh, was that a joke? I don't know. I guess they're not funny.
Well,
Because Alex is fucking, not you, Alex, other Alex, is fucking hilarious.
Well,
If you can understand
funny thing
jokes.
Funny thing you say other Alex, because I know another Alex in real life. Wait.
You know which one I'm referring to, though.
Are you referring to the one that I know, or are you referring to Programmer Alex?
I'm referring to Programmer Alex.
Oh, okay.
Who is German.
Yes. I knew that. I was just confused for a second, because you said other Alex, and I was like, alright.
Well.
I know a lot of Alex.
Yes, Dr. Bohr Alex.
Okay.
I didn't get to finish my sentence, but I was basing all that off of...
Fuck your sentence. In the ass with a rubber dick and then break the dildo in half and beat it with the rest of it.
Oh my god, alright.
Continue.
I was basing all that off of Patton Oswalt, stand-up comedian. He said he went to Germany and he tried to make small talk and make a little joke, and they were, like you said, completely literal. And he said something about he had a laser pen and he was, playing with it, and it's like, hey, look, it's a, red laser. And the cab driver was trying to emphasize that it wasn't a sniper, because they don't do that in Germany. That's not how it's just a laser. And he's like, yeah, I know, I know it's just a pen, it's fake. He's like, okay, I'm just making sure. That's what I'm basing all this off of. I never.
Oh well, no, yeah. That's fair. It's literally what I just said, but swap it. Whereas like an American or whoever is gonna possibly have a hard time understanding German humor because it's just they're not familiar with the context of it. The inverse is also true, to where Germans aren't gonna necessarily be commonly aren't gonna be familiar with like American style of humor because it's just.
What is our style of humor? I don't even know what
Our
it is.
style of humor is you walk into a video game Madden tournament, and okay.
Hey, you had it going. Why did you stop? That Madden thing was good.
You walk in, you're like, oh, my mom didn't pour my morning milk for me, and I lost the tournament.
I lost the tournament. I don't
Why
know.
is Kermit the Frog the fucking game conference?
I lost the fucking tournament. Miss Piggy, I'm gonna kill somebody.
Oh my god.
The wide receiver didn't send me the ball.
I don't know what our sense of humor is because everyone gets offended by everything. I don't know what is funny anymore because comedians can't say shit without somebody in the audience going, hey, my brother's nephew's cousin got asthma once. Fuck you. And you're like, what the fuck, dude? Just leave then. Why do you want to
Well,
go
here
out to public
I'll
places
answer.
just
I'll
to get
answer your
offended?
question. I'll answer your question the way it should be, as far as you don't know what's funny anymore. Everything is funny or nothing is. No exceptions. It's not a question of subject matter. It's a question of how you construct the joke.
That is also true, but it's like people just want to get offended, Stone, because they want attention. That's literally the only thing now. Like everybody just craves attention, and they realize now with this social climate that we're in, it's like if you get pissed off about something, someone else is going to be like, yeah, I'm mad about that too. So then they'll go behind you, and then it just starts this avalanche of bullshit. And then soon you're not going to be able to make fun of grasshoppers because one time this one little miss I don't know, some woman name. She was out in the backyard and a grasshopper hopped on her leg and she had Vietnam flashbacks, so they can't talk about grasshoppers anymore.
It's a terrible time to be, in the entertainment business, especially like, trying to
Grasshoppers
make people laugh.
trigger a PTSD flashback? Damn, they must not have a good time watching Karate Kid.
They must not have a good time, like, I don't know, opening their eyes. Like, if
Air triggers me.
If everything offends you, then just like, what do you do? What do
If
people
everything
do
offends you, here's what you do. You get the Jack Daniels and the rope.
that are not related? They're not related whatsoever. Oh my god.
Oh wait, they can't drink. It offends them.
Oh, damn.
Oh shit.
And they have a hemp allergy, so they can't joke about the rope.
Oh, that's okay. What they're gonna do with the rope isn't a joke.
Oh, fuck.
Oh fuck.
Except when it is.
Damn. Well, I mean, if you're gonna be one of those people that just like sits there and like on the subject of people that just have nothing better to do than be offended by everything, can we talk about how like a lot of old people nowadays are just like sour curmudgeons? A lot of them are like really, nice, sweet old people. Like I'm sure your grandparents. I've never met them, but I'm sure your grandparents are nice, and my grandparents are nice. But like,
Which ones?
I don't know.
There's one extreme and the other. I got really nice grandparents, and then I got the grandparents you don't want to fuck with. And there's like
my grandparents are nice if you can handle a little bit of ingrained but not necessarily deliberate casual Southern racism.
Yeah, it's kind of a given,
A lot of people have that, so it's not good, but whatever. I'm not gonna.
I specify it in the sense that like, if you mention it, they'll probably try to do better, but it's just there because that's a product of the time they grew up in.
Yeah. Well,
not to condone it, of course, but you know.
I mean, I only brought it up because I was like, I remember this specific, like this one time that I was working at my job and we were driving around looking for bikes. I think I might have told you this, Stone. We stopped and we were picking one up.
At what point in time is this? Is this the Halloween store job or?
This was after the second time I got. So this was like the beginning of this year, like March, April. Okay. And we were picking up a bike. And we opened up the back of the Dodge van, and we were loading it up. And as I was about to hop out, this old man in this mobile chair with like this attachment on the front that was like a motorized wheel that helped him move around really fast, fucking like Tokyo drifted around the corner, like right in front of the van, so I couldn't hop out. And I was like, "How's it going, sir?" And he's like, "You picking up the bikes?" And we're like, "Yeah, we are. Doing our best to, keep the streets clean." He's like, "I couldn't get out of my house for 3 months because of one of these." And we're like,
he said that?
Huh. How did that happen? He's like, "Oh, somebody left one in front of my door and I couldn't leave my house." And we were like, "Oh, well, we'll definitely look into that. Have a nice day." And we drove away. And then we got back to the warehouse later that day to find out that he'd been sending emails to us like for the past, I don't know how many months. And he like put in one of the emails that like the government had to airdrop supplies to his house so he could eat because a bike was blocking his front door, so he literally couldn't get his scooter out. Problem number one, I don't think that's how it works. I don't think the government, like, you just call them up and you're like, "Yo fam, send me a fucking crate of Depends," and then they just airmail it to you. Second,
I sincerely hope it's true, though.
Second, if he's in a scooter, he didn't ride that bike there, so who the fuck would ride a bike to his house and then leave it in front of his door? Third of all, he doesn't know anybody that could, I don't know, move it.
3 months.
I
3 months.
I can understand like people getting upset, but I smelled like a lot of bullshit with that story. So I was like, really, like, you don't have anything else to do except complain about how you don't like these bikes, so you make up some weird story about how you got trapped in your house? Go home, old man.
For 3 months?
The answer to that question is actually yes. You get to a certain point, some of them just don't have anybody to talk to. Their family doesn't talk to them if they have any family left. And that's literally all they've got.
I mean, on one hand, it's kind of sad, but on the other hand, it's like, dude, if you're sour with the way your life turned out, don't take it out on other people. Like, that's just mean. If I was sad with some way my life went, I wouldn't go out and be like kicking over baby strollers and stuff.
No, you just start a podcast and talk shit about it. Oh, shit!
You got us.
I know.
You see, somehow the world will change for me and be so wonderful.
You see? What about the other 24 letters?
You see?
Side note, yeah, you see!
UPC, bro? Yeah, Arizona State.
PC.
I live across the river from Cincinnati, so yeah, you see!
Nice.
Dude, I watched,
Not really, I don't give 2 fucks about sport ball.
Dude, I watched the first episode where they introduced PC Principal in South Park. I don't really like PC Principal.
He was good in
What?
that.
What's that? You got a problem? You got a problem with PC, bro?
Well, I like that, but...
He was good in that episode.
Well, that episode, but I don't like his character. It's just... It's too real. I already see PC Principals in real life. I don't need to watch it in South Park for 2 or 3, 4 seasons. That's another reason why South Park's not that great, is because they're not really writing anything. I can just go outside and witness it in real life. I don't need to watch it on South Park.
Well, at least in regards strictly to PC Principal.
Yeah.
I was initially in the same boat you're in. I didn't like him. What the fuck did they do?
What did they do to my South Park?
But now it's just kind of like, you know what? I'm cool with him because it's basically not literally, but it's basically, putting all the bullshit of PC culture. Not that it's all bullshit, but most of it's bullshit. But it's putting the bullshit of it front and center of like, I'm sure that, there are some people who pretend to be PC as an excuse to crush puss, but obviously not all of them. But for the ones that's not true for, which is most of them, they do definitely have some ulterior stupid agenda. So it's just like, calling to attention the bullshit therein. I'm cool with him on that front. He's not as good as Randy in that arc, but who's can ever be as good as Randy?
Hey, Sharon. Sharon, come here.
Sharon.
Sharon, where's the rope and the Jack Daniels? They're not related.
They're not related.
It's right. It's right by it's right next to the yeah. I am Lord.
Fucking hell.
I don't blame South Park for creating new characters, and I like the idea of like what PC Principal is and everything, but. And I haven't seen all the episodes he's in, and it was the first episode.
You gotta watch the saga if you haven't already. You gotta watch the whole like arc about like fucking ads.
Like that whole season. That's like what this whole season.
Well, that's the other problem. It's like you can't watch a South Park episode. You have to watch like the whole season, and I don't like that. They were better when they just did one-off episodes, or they did trilogies, just 3 episodes, not a whole season. It was just a little
Coon trilogy for life.
Like the Black Friday trilogy.
That was so good.
Yeah,
I love that fucking episode.
I know it's short.
Well, the trilogy rather, but yeah.
That in the end where random Chinese man who runs Sony fights Bill Gates and Bill Gates kicks the shit out of him. Oh.
Yeah, I know.
Bill Gates takes his little like $800 fucking silk shirt off, and it's just fucking gangster tat.
Just buy Xbox One.
No, I like he's like, here, take this, and he takes his fake eye patch sticker and he puts it on Randy.
Ugh.
It's gross.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like, oh my god! Because when I first saw it, I thought it was actually real. Then he took take this, and he reaches for his eye.
Yeah, he probably got it at like a Halloween store or something on like not on Black.
While on Black Friday, yeah.
Yeah.
It was forced to have it. It just came out. I'm sorry.
You're gonna be on the property. Well, we can walk real slow. Oh, smartasses. Yeah, see, but again, it's 3 episodes.
The Black Friday arc, that part was good, but the Game of Thrones subplot is one of my favorite things they've ever done.
Don't worry, they're coming.
Yeah, especially like.
Hey, you kids! Get out of my garden! He's gonna betray you!
Shut the fuck up, old man!
No, it's just like, Butters, have you watched the end of season 3? I need to know what happens in the dragon show. Any dragons don't show up. All I get is a bunch of floppy wieners in my face. Yeah, then they go to George R.R. Martin's house and he just whips out his...
A tiny wiener. Still so pleasing to the eye.
And then the dude cuts his dick off.
Oh. And the pizza's coming. They're coming. And
the pizza's
gonna be great.
That was the best. The pizzas are coming.
And they're gonna be great. But then, Shoujo has his floppy wiener. Yeah, see, again, it's trilogy. It's 3 episodes. It's right there. They get to the point. It's good.
I think we were ignoring the best
The
part
part
about
about that always got me is it was strictly taking a jab at the show of Game of Thrones, not necessarily the books. And it's just like, you watch the show, it's like, there's really like no dicks in Game of Thrones. It's all tits. There's plenty of tits. There's plenty of ass. There's almost no dick.
I'm kind of.
You're like, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'm kind of fine with that. I don't really need them.
Very small amount of veg, but there's almost no dick.
No dick.
I'm pretty sure the most. I can't even say this is actually seeing dick, but like the most dick that you'll see is when you get like season. I want to say 1 through 3, I think. I don't remember. But when you've got Renly and what's his gay boyfriend's name? Loras. Those two. When you've got King Renly and his little bits with Loras. Aside from that, you don't really see much dick. And even then, you barely see anything. It's usually like they always have like a leg up. So where South Park got the idea about floppy wiener, I don't know. I don't care though, because we got a great song out of it.
It's funny.
It's fucking
hilarious. Oh yeah, the
hilarious.
song. Yeah, I forgot about the.
I think we're ignoring the best thing about that trilogy though. Is it plugged the South Park video game? That was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot.
Have you ever played Stick of Truth, Stone?
No, I don't have any time.
Damn.
Because I'm getting fucked in the ass by my math homework.
What about you, Drac? Have you played Stick of Truth?
What? Oh, I thought.
Yeah, Stick of Truth is the name of the game.
Kardashian's fetus is the greatest video game boss of all time. Prove me wrong.
What about the fractured butthole?
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. The Nazi zombie Kim Kardashian's giant fetus is the greatest boss in all of video game history.
Gygus, Lavos, they can all go fucking die. It's all about Kim Kardashian's fetus.
Oh my god.
Nazi zombie baby fetus.
Puppy monkey baby. The way you said that.
Do not. No. Stop. Stop that shit. Right the fuck now.
Oh, I'm not saying I like the commercial.
Okay, we're gonna have us. Okay, no. It's story time with Tana Mojo up in this bitch right now. So, I'm walking through, getting groceries and shit the other day. And of course, you get any chain, they've got like the half aisle of cheap ass Halloween shit. Just when Puppy Monkey Baby and all of the horrors it entails starts to clear itself from my mind, I'm going through that aisle, not to buy shit, but I'm just going that way. And what do I see on the wall of on the rack of cheap ass masks? But a fucking pug mask that has eyes on springs.
Oh, no.
And guess what image comes back to my brain and is now fucking stuck there?
Mountain Dew
Puppy Monkey Baby.
energy drink.
Puppy Monkey Baby.
That was the worst.
Puppy Monkey Baby.
I don't even know what Puppy Monkey Baby is.
There was a Super Bowl commercial, I don't know how many years ago, and it was for like Mountain Dew energy drink. And it was the way they advertised it, where there's these three bozos sitting on a couch.
No, it's not even that. It's the fact that it's a fucking puppet that's terrifying. I'm gonna post the link because he needs to see this.
All right, I'm gonna put it in the eye icon for it so you at home can watch. I'm gonna show them after the podcast because I don't really want to break the flow right now.
Well,
Right,
I mean,
it
how
is
long
absolutely terrifying.
It's only like 30 seconds. It's
Well,
not
here,
too
play.
long.
Let's get a live reaction.
Are you sure?
You can only get one live reaction out of it,
All right.
so fuck it. Yeah, let's do
Fair
it.
enough.
Fuck it, we'll do it live!
Live reaction on Korn and Kock. Here we go. Oh my god, that thing is... What the hell is... Oh my... What is it? It's like a baby
It's a
puppy monkey?
It's it's a
Oh my god, it's like... Whoa. It's like if... What? There's like two black guys and a white guy.
Oh yeah, you gotta have the token black star.
It's like...
Juice, caffeine.
What the hell was that? I've never seen that before.
Well, now you have it. You can never unsee it.
Well, yeah, and see, that was a live, genuine reaction. I had never even heard of that before. Well, that was last year.
And now you understand the horror of why I don't want to fucking be reminded that that thing exists.
Yeah, well, that's probably gonna be stuck in my head. Alright, well, I've seen worse, but fuck.
What was I going to say? I was gonna say
Something about Puppy Monkey Baby.
something gay. I'm sure. I don't fucking know. Well, I wanted to ask you a question, Drac, because like I've seen you post like GIFs, however you want to pronounce it. I don't care. On Discord about
I
it.
say it with a G because I'm not a bitch. A hard G.
Duh.
Okay.
I don't care that the creator says it's GIF. It's not fucking peanut butter. I can't put it on a sandwich. It's GIF.
You know what?
Fuck all of you.
You know what? Honestly, I believe that as well. I honestly do. But so many people, and I mean this, like so many people have come up to me and been like, it's GIF, right? The creator says it's GIF. Why are you saying it like that? And I've just given up. I'm like, say what you want. I don't give a fuck. So, but this Castlevania like fan game that I see you making, or I'm not sure if it's a fan game or if it's like its own original thing. It just looks super interesting. I've never asked you about it. Like, are you willing to like divulge into it a little bit or like explain what it is?
I am, but I have to... Hold on, I've got to pull up an old conversation with the project head about shit that I'm not allowed to talk about.
Oh. That's what I was thinking. Like I wasn't sure if it was okay to like bring it up because I wasn't sure if it was like your own thing or if it was like
No, I can definitely talk about it. It's just there are certain things that I have to like. Obviously, there's certain shit that I just straight up can't mention, but there's also certain things that I can't even necessarily allude to because people will put two and two together. And it doesn't. I mean, it's at a point where it's just kind of like. It's a case of like if I mention A, it doesn't matter how big or small the audience is, somebody will eventually find out about A, and then from A, it's very easy if you know what you're looking for to go to B, and then you can go C, D, all the way to Z, oh shit, you figured out half the plot. So, let's see that.
So, is it a Castlevania game? Or...
Yes.
Okay. Okay, because
Okay. Yeah, I can talk. Okay, yeah, I can talk about it without breaking into those. Okay, so the general. Hold on. If I'm gonna go on a tirade, where are my cancer sticks?
Cancer sticks?
Don't smoke, kids. It'll kill you, but it does make you a slight bit cooler. Anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
So yes, it is. It is a Castlevania. Official title being Umber of Sorrow. As I'm sure you can imagine from the fact that it's of sorrow, it does relate to the Aria and Dawn titles. In essence, it is the 1999 game that Konami hasn't done yet. Follows the adventures of young Grandpa Badass, otherwise known as Julius Belmont, during his whole big, climactic thing in which they finally kill Big D for good.
Big D. Fucking Dracula.
Dude, why do you think Lisa got with him? Because he was a vampire? Pfft, this ain't Twilight. His dick was huge. Anyway.
Huge.
So, and you've got the whole thing he goes through, how they seal his castle, cut him off from it, get rid of his powers, kill him for good, yada yada. How it leads into Aria of Sorrow, Birth of Soma, all that fun shit. Yes, it is a game. At least I would hope so, seeing as I'm the sole developer, programming-wise, so I'd hope so. The general gist is it's essentially... How can I word that? It's almost... I'm not going to say it's like a retelling or an homage. I mean, it's definitely an homage, but it does draw a lot of elements from all across the series. It's been, Mario, the project head, known as Plot Twist in the Castlevania communities. I've known him for years, so I just refer to him by name. But it has been his brainchild for... Oh, geez, I don't even know how many years. I mean, we've been, quote-unquote, officially in development since, I don't know, 2013, 2014? So a good couple of years that it's been officially in the works. And we didn't actually start game development until about year and a half, 2 years ago. But prior to that, it was like, graphics were being made, story was being written, music was being done. Basically everything but programming.
Okay. Just
for the sake of, like, in the event somebody comes along that wants to program it, we've already got the ball rolling. But before that, it had been his brainchild for even more years. So I want to say it's been his brainchild for at least pushing a decade.
That's neat.
Roughly, I want to say roughly around there. It draws a lot of parallels to, Dracula's Curse, wherein, you've got your party of multiple heroes. You can switch between them, a la the way Dawn of Sorrow does it. Except this time, the Dracula's Curse is rather literal because you have, descendant of Grant, descendant of Sypha, Alucard, obviously, because he doesn't fucking age. And then you've got the people who are, like, I don't want to say ancestors, but, like, parents or grandparents of, like, the people that you see in Aria of Sorrow. So, like, the Mina Hakuba chick that's Soma's girlfriend, who's, like, the descendant of the priest that sealed Dracula's castle. We've got that priest as a character. We've got him written. Just a whole bunch of shit like that. It goes through that sort of thing. The character switching is like Dawn of Sorrow. You've got puzzles and interactables the way Portrait of Ruin did it, where, some characters can get through a certain puzzle all on their own once you have enough abilities. Other ones you need certain combinations of characters. Other times you need all of them, and you have to backtrack to finish a puzzle, yada yada. I want to say that's more or less the gist that I can get into without spoiling shit. But
well, that's fine. That's fine. I was just really curious because it always piqued my interest whenever you like posted stuff, and I was like, is this your thing? But if I'm being completely honest, I've never really delved that deep into Castlevania. So like most of the characters you named off, I had no idea what you were talking about. It's something I have to get to.
Well, you
eventually.
go back to Dracula's Curse. Well, oh jeez.
I know about the third one. I've played the third one. I know the 4 playable characters there, but...
Okay, so, you've got Julius, obviously. If you know any small portion of the series and have even seen on you, he's the old badass grandpa with the fucking cowboy coat. Ass kicker. Ass kicker as fuck. Our Grant descendant, Grant in the third game, is the wall climbing pirate, but he's not really a pirate. his descendant is a modern-day mercenary, as one does. The Sypha, who is the mage in 3, it's her, like, however many great-granddaughters. Alucard is still Alucard, except he's hid the symphony look. Except because how he is in Arya, he's in, like, disguise or whatever. And he's, you know, in a black suit and black hair, and he's passing as human, and he's got his own other secondary identity. Actually, 2 different things. You can play... So basically, Alucard has 2 forms. You can switch between them, and they have different moves, slightly different move sets and different abilities. So while there are, on paper, 4 playables, technically there's 5.
That's fuck. You really went deep in with this. I mean,
boy, do I even?
So.
No. All I've got to mention to give you a sense of the scope. Have you played Symphony?
No, but I really want to.
Have you? You know how big Symphony is. At least
yes.
You have some semblance.
Yeah.
Okay. Triple that castle. That's about where we're at.
Fuck.
That's about what we're aiming for everything.
Christ, that's pretty fucking impressive. Stone, have you ever played Castlevania?
No, and I don't know what that is.
Dracula's an asshole. I'm a barbarian. I have a whip. Let's whip some ass.
That's the
Is
plot.
that a game?
That's
a
the
line
plot?
from the game, or?
That's just a plot synopsis.
That is the plot of the first chunk of the games, when it was basically just a Conan the Barbarian with a whip fighting vampires power fantasy. Afterwards, it started to get more into, you know, your gothic tropes, and everything's more beautiful, and your standard gothic tropes and plot. There actually started to become story, and it just built into its own thing. But when it first started out, it was Conan the Barbarian with a whip killing Dracula. What more do you need?
I don't know. Probably some jack and a rope.
Yeah, give me that jack and that.
You
rope.
have a rope. It's a whip.
Actually, I'll just take the rope at this point. I don't drink, so just give me the rope.
What a bitch.
Damn.
Damn.
You're a drummer. You are obligated to drink.
There's a lot of things I'm obligated to do, and I don't do it. And that's part of the reason why I think that most people don't want to, like... I'm very bottom... I'm near the bottom of everyone's, like, hangout list, because I literally don't do anything. Which is fine. What the fuck? Get away.
Oh, shit. Get him, boys. Get him, boys. Get the cop.
No, anyways,
Police sirens in Arizona. Who would have thought?
No.
The cops don't give a fuck over here. It's great.
Well, no, in Scottsdale.
What's there to give a fuck about? Sand, occasionally some buildings, more sand.
So much sand, you really can't believe it.
You really
A
can't
cactus. 2 cacti.
Well,
Some blue crystal meth in the middle of the desert.
Well, I was just gonna say that Stone knows this. My only encounter with Phoenix PD was that time that I dragged a giant CRT television behind my Mercedes at 2 a.m. with a brown kid hanging out the back of my trunk, and he let us off scot-free. So I mean, I think they're pretty cool. I don't know. I can't really say anything bad about
Ben
them.
that question, he'll give you a different answer.
Oh,
I have a question, and I already know the answer, I'm pretty sure.
Uh-oh.
Were you loading that CRT for the reason I think you were loading that CRT?
oh, you fucking know it, bro.
What is there to do in Arizona? Well, like most of that particular region of the United States, there is literally 2 things you can do, both of which involve going out into the desert. One of them is laying on a blanket and looking at the sky, because fuck looking at the land, there's nothing interesting. The other is taking a bunch of obsolete technology and smashing the fuck out of it.
You gotta listen to some cool music too. Stone's always got like good tunes for that.
Well, his name is Stone and he plays the drums. I would certainly hope so.
Dude, I'm one of the biggest letdowns you'll ever meet, especially if you're a woman.
Oh, come on.
I don't know. I'm already friends with Alm.
With Alm?
Fuck.
With Alm?
Why you gotta put me down like that, Drake? Why you gotta kick a man while he's down? Well, I mean, I'm used to this. This is like a recurring theme.
What is?
Just like demasculate, like
Alm being a bottom bitch.
Yeah, fair enough.
Well, I mean, dude, I'm a fucking Arizona sports fan. I'm always at the bottom, or like, hey, you guys made the playoffs, and you're immediately out. So I'm always like,
no, look, I'll be reasonable with you. What are you a sports fan of?
oh boy, baseball and hockey.
Okay, so the fact that you're a fan of one of those already tells me bottom of the rung. Because who the fuck likes baseball?
That's the point I'm trying to make here. It's like, you know, hey, what'd you do last
Look,
night?
baseball is boring as shit on its own. It is the only sport where going to the stadium is less fun.
Well, you know
I'm right.
Well,
Hockey on the other hand, I am completely behind because it's one of the places I can go where people will actively beat the living fuck out of each other. The game itself is also fun. I also like the game because, in my opinion, hockey is the most macho, manliest, whatever the fuck sport there is. No exceptions. Even more so than like MMA and shit. And I'll tell you why. Here is the gist of hockey. The field is ice. You have a shitload of 210-pound burly motherfuckers in battle armor with ass-whipping sticks with knives on their feet chasing after something the size of your fist. Do I need to say any more?
You make everything sound so much more dramatic, and it's great. The thing about the baseball thing is, though, like, I'm not super into sports, and I went to go see a few games with Stone. I had a fun time. I mean, mostly because we were, like, joking around a lot of the time, but, you know, the crowd was fine, you know. I guess it was just the times that I went, they were all right. Watching it at home, I find, is way more boring than, like, actually going, because it's just, like, you can't really interact. You know, there's no chance for you to get on the kiss cam and do something embarrassing with your friends. You know.
I mean, you can interact from home if your name is Bane and you have access to missiles, but you know.
This is for you, Gotham City.
Gotham is yours.
Yes, Mr. UPS man. I have your package right here.
You shouldn't have fucked with our wives, Mr. UPS man.
Tell me you've seen that South Park episode.
which one was it?
That was the one where Ike walked in on his parents.
Where Sheila and Gerald are role playing, and Gerald's dressed up as a UPS guy fucking her. Ike sees it, draws a picture, and everybody thinks Sheila's cheating on Gerald with the UPS guy.
And then
So then Randy and everybody thinks that the UPS guy is fucking everybody's wife, so they all put on Bane masks and kidnap and beat the fuck out of a UPS guy.
I don't think I've seen that one.
You should. It's fucking funny.
It's a Randy centric episode. You automatically know it's gonna be good.
I know. I need to sit down because what I was saying before is it's getting to the point where I don't want to tell people, "Hey, what'd you do last night?" Because it's literally just going to be the most boring statement ever, and then people in the back of their head are going to go, "I'm not going to ask this guy to hang out because that sounds, fucking boring as shit." Oh.
What'd you do last night? Watch South Park. Watch some South Park. Ate some cheese doodles. Felt bad about myself. Masturbated. Contemplated suicide. Went to sleep. What'd you do?
No. It's playing Tetris Attack while drinking
Tetris.
water. While drinking water, eating cheese nips.
Cheese nips.
Well, did you eat cheese nips or Cheez-Its?
Cheez-Its.
Okay, Cheez-Its. There is a difference. Cheez-Its. While listening to every scream from the Courage the Cowardly Dog cartoon.
No, that is a good fucking night. Fuck anybody that says otherwise.
I never did that. Stone did that.
That's most of my nights is I just play Tetris and listen to Jason Paradise. Or Rage Quit, or fucking Courage the Cowardly Dog. But I highly doubt there are going to be any women out there that would want to take part in that. Even though they are...
Welcome to the Cat's Motel. I'm Katz, your host.
I can't believe I messed this up.
Oh, what'd you do?
I counted wrong on my thingy, no big deal.
Oh, you do it like the song, the sponsored song?
Yeah, and I counted everything wrong, so I gotta go back and number everything. So that kind of...
Oh my god.
insane.
I'm literally shaking. Oh my god, this can't be real. Mario doesn't smoke weed.
What? What?
Mario doesn't smoke weed and play video games and dress himself up like the Joker. He's not in a gang.
Gamers rise up.
This is terrible.
Drac, are you excited for the Call of Cthulhu?
Is that one? Is that the one game when it's just like you open a door and like it's flooded now and shit?
I don't know. I haven't seen
I
it.
just want to make sure we're referring to the same game.
Yeah, kind of. I haven't really seen a lot of gameplay videos, but it's like you're losing your sanity. So shit, like
That's a given. It's a fucking Cthulhu game. Hold on, we'll make this easy.
It's make things easy time.
This one,
It's gonna pop up on screen any second.
yeah, that one.
oh god, yeah, I'm excited as fuck for that.
Ooh.
I ask because Stone's been talking about it a lot. And
Oh, it's like, dude, I've got my own Lovecraft I mean, it's on the fucking back burner until it figures out what it wants to be completely. But I've got my own Lovecraft-inspired game in back burner development. Of course, I've been a Lovecraft fan forever. Of course, I'm excited for this shit.
I love Squid Man with wings.
Oh my god.
Because aside from Bloodborne, all the other games I've seen, video games, I'm not counting like tabletop and shit, but like any video game that usually tries to go Lovecraftian fucks it up. Not in like, you know, appearances or like scope, you know, the cosmic scope, but they fuck it up in like the sanity and just beyond comprehension aspect. And it's just like, I get it. It's not the 20s anymore. You know, the shit that scared people, you know, almost 100 years ago doesn't really have the same effect now. I get it. But like the whole point of Lovecraftian like philosophy is that, you know, it's not okay, like the idea that, oh, if you look upon us, you will go mad. I mean, like that doesn't really work in the same sense anymore. But like the other sense of like, okay, yeah, you've got these giant alien gods who are just part of like this cosmic indifference where they don't give a fuck about humans. We don't matter in the grand scheme. That part's you can still run with that, and it's just kind of like I don't see a lot of ones do it. Bloodborne being, for me, the only real exception, because not only does it get that aspect of it right, just the cosmic mystery and indifference, the way it does the whole sanity with like your little sanity meter, and it's like their insight rather, and like the more of it you have, you see the monsters and you see more of the shit as it really is, and yeah, it's like, okay, that works. And it like makes you more vulnerable to whatever the one's status, I think it's called like frenzy, that's what it is. More just like if the frenzy meter fills up, you lose a shitload of health. And it makes it fill up faster when you have more of that. It's like, yeah, that works as a game mechanic to explain that part. So it's just like, I don't know, they did it justice.
Oh, yes,
and like aside from that, this is the first one that's kind of like, okay, you fuckers are getting it.
I too
Don't fuck up.
I too play video games. I remember playing Pac-Man.
Just funny.
Pac-Man? Pfft, what a fucking noob, scrub, bitch casual you are. I played Pong with no arms and legs, and I played with my testicles. I only had one. The joystick was slippery and sticky because it stimulated my prostate a little bit, and I got smegma fun juice all over the joystick, and it was difficult to play because it was sticking, but I still played, and I held the world record in ball-playing Pong with your smegma-covered testicles. What do you have, bitch?
What do I have? I have the Korn and Kock Rewind. Play the clip.
Here's Kock.
That was a cool
Oh
clip.
shit.
All right.
We're gonna change it up. We're gonna have Korn read it.
Oh my god. This is a privilege. I've never held Stone's notebook in my hand. All right. So today, on September 30th, 2018, on the 27th episode of Korn and Kock, we have Stone is wearing his Philadelphia Phillies hat. And he didn't play the clip. Dude, we gotta get that fucking coyote, like, the one in the corner of the room. We gotta fucking like tell it to shut up or something. Like, I'm sick and tired of it honking all the time.
Yeah, me too. The thing follows me around wherever I go.
All right. The sponsored song of the week is BU2B2 by Rush. I fucked that up.
That's what
royally.
it's called. That's how
Yeah,
you say it.
BU2BU.
No, BU2.
Well, here, just type the text. Here. Type the text in the message thing, and I'll read it off in my quote-unquote radio voice.
Okay. U2.
Like the whole thing, yeah.
Oh, okay. Give me a
Sponsored song, 27th episode. Okay.
All right. This episode.
Because I don't know what your format. I mean, I know it, but like, you know, I don't have his notebook in front of me.
I got you.
I got you, fam. I got you,
I don't know why
Dad.
I want to put like a U at the end. BU2BU. It's something along those lines, I guess.
This episode of Korn and Kock is sponsored by BU2B2 by Rush. Thanks for listening.
Geddy Lee, come on the podcast. Stop being in Canuckland. Come down.
Canuckland.
All right. Then we talked about fan.
Geddy Lee. Geddy Lee, get your ass down here. I understand that Tim Hortons is fantastic and you love your craft dinner, and that moose are fun to watch and douse in maple syrup. But I need you to come down here. The Tim Hortons are a little more sparse down here, but we do still have them, and we can make amends to get you down here. Please, get your Canuck ass down here. We want to finger that maple pot. Come on down.
I'm not sure I want to do that to Geddy Lee, but I definitely have him on this couch, and we could talk about, I don't know.
What, Geddy Lee?
Yeah, if he was here. Like, because last week we talked about if James Hetfield was on the podcast. We haven't talked about if Geddy Lee was here. And he'd come and he'd talk like the witch he is. He'd fly in on his broomstick through the window and be like, "It's me! It's me!"
Here's the problem, though. If every time you do a gig with Geddy Lee, he takes some portion of your soul and puts it into his patch.
He's been...
It's what keeps him young, you see.
It's what keeps his voice young and spry. Alright, fan game controversy? Not really. Daniel Page, you're probably not listening to this, but if you are, come on, dude. YouTube comments kind of suck, and by kind of, I hope you meant really suck, because commenting on YouTube is like sticking your dick, like trying to stick your dick through a Cheerio without it breaking. It's not gonna happen.
I wrote kind of because there are a bunch of really funny comments. In fact, in that one video I commented on, the top comment was, "I accidentally yawned during this video. Now I'm afraid this teacher's gonna come after me." Again, how can you find that offensive? That's just funny.
That was pretty good. All right.
It's very funny. Here, I'll do you one better. YouTube comments suck harder and worse than an underage Filipino hooker who spent her life growing up in the Macau sex trade and has many, many deep-seated personal, mental, and psychological issues, who has a detached sense of Stockholm Syndrome, who believes that by blowing you with the hardest you, the American tourist who is fat, overweight, and greasy from eating too much McDonald's that day and is only here because his cruise ride left without him. The only reason she sucks so hard is because she believes it will give her some sense of validation and self-worth. YouTube comments suck harder than that.
It sounded like you had that in the back of your mind, prepared for that exact
like ready to go at a given.
No, I just made it up on the spot, and that hence the ums.
Well, that's pretty impressive. I can't do that. Dawn of the Shit Posters. Are you being ironic? Are you being serious? Who cares? Fuck off. And we talked a lot about Donald Trump, South Park, of course. And we also talked about Assholevania. He didn't write that down, but that was a part of it. Other than that, to close off the podcast, I don't know. Let's, what can we talk about that's super interesting and cool and, like, a nice denouement to this?
I have no fucking idea.
I mean, 11 drops in a couple days. I mean, that's...
I mean, I was going to mention that, but it's like, I've already talked about Mega Man 11 so goddamn much, it's like, shut up, Alex. Why?
Hey, yo, motherfucker, Mega Man 11 drops in a couple of days. Go buy it, or you're a bitch.
Go buy it, or else Capcom will bury the hatchet for good. I always find it, like... I've read, like, a lot of comments that said, like, oh, Capcom's not gonna fucking do Mega Man X9 if Mega Man 11 doesn't go well. And I'm like, I don't really care. Like...
The X series should have stopped at X5. Change my mind.
Yeah.
Change my mind.
Yeah. I won't deny you that.
X6 had a couple of redeeming factors. X7 was trash, and we don't talk about it aside from its status as a meme. X8 was mostly okay. We got a bitchin', couple new redesigns. But let's be honest, as far as contributions to the series, should have ended at X5.
I agree.
Well, you heard it here first, folks.
Drax says Mega Man should... Keiji Hakafune, if you're listening to this, step up your game. Concept isn't a company. Concept is an idea shack.
Yo, KG, step your game up. I've written better fucking ways to end the X series and tie it into multiple other series and bridge the series canon. Step your game up, motherfucker. I don't even do this shit for a living.
See, like...
Come on, man. $4 million. You can write a better fucking story than that.
No, dude, no. It was a tight budget. It was a tight budget.
As tight as that underage Filipino hooker?
Okay.
Oh, wait. Never mind.
Okay. Fuck. I don't know what else to talk. I'm at a loss.
I got nothing.
This is the first time I've ever been at a loss.
I got nothing.
Is this lost?
Okay. Drac, before we go, do you have any fun, interesting, hilarious, real slice of life stories that can just really bust our giggle pits?
Well,
Well.
I can recount the tale of a time I had a very up close and personal encounter with a very large amount of human shit in the middle of winter.
Oh,
I can. Oh, no, hold on. I'll give multiple choice. I'll give you some choice. I can give you the time when I was working at a hotel as a teenager and didn't know jack shit and inadvertently had cops show up, almost had the hotel catch on fire due to an electrical fire, had the hotel cash drawer get robbed, had somebody at the same time who was pretending to be Lizard Squad hack the hotel phone for some reason.
God, sounds like the worst Sunday ever.
I can recount the time I got set on fire at a party. I can recount the time I got stabbed. I can recount the time I fell out of a tree and fell headfirst into the edge of a metal wheelbarrow. Oh, what else is there? I can recount the... I can recount the time we almost had my current place of employment, possibly blow up because somebody left something on top of something and it was very hot and almost caught on fire and almost started a gas explosion. Yeah, take your pick. Which ones do you want?
You know, as enticing as the story of you working at a hotel and nearly ruining fucking everything sounds, I kind of want to hear the story of how you got stabbed. What about you, Steve?
Well, it's okay. That one's actually very short because it's not a glamorous. It wasn't even a knife. I was by myself and it wasn't even a knife. What happened was I was like, I don't remember how old I was. It was somewhere between like 11 and 13. And it was
so 12.
Exactly. I'm 12, and what is this? It was just I lived I don't live near like woods, but like your general suburb, like little patches of woods that are kind of qualifiable as woods. Well, you wouldn't know, but over here in the Midwest. And
I used to live in New York, bro. I got you.
Okay. Then you're good. Albany and shit. But, I would go through those when I was a kid because it was just like, it's quiet. I don't have to fucking deal with people. It's fun. Just walk through, climb trees, whatever. There was one particular instance where I climbed a tree and a branch wasn't stable and gave way. This is coincidentally the exact build-up to how I fell out of a tree and cracked my skull on a wheelbarrow. I was just much older at the time.
A twofer.
And when I fell, and this particular stretch was on a hill, so when I fell, I rolled. And what wound up being is a particularly pointy piece of exposed root happened to break my fall right into my leg.
Ooh.
Didn't break off, didn't splinter, didn't have to like pick chunks of wood out of the injury, but yes, there was at one point a hole in my thigh.
How big we talking?
Ow.
Like size of a penny, quarter, dime?
Well, the circumference of like the part of the branch that got me was I'd say about as big around as like what's a good size reference? A silver dollar, but the actual, because obviously it's pointy, so it tapered off. I'd say the actual injury site, at least around, was a little bit, tiny bit small. I mean, when I say tiny bit, I mean like millimeters. A tiny bit smaller than a quarter. It didn't go particularly deep, but it went deep enough. I mean, I didn't necessarily need like stitches or anything because it wasn't that bad. But I mean, it was still a stab in any case, but about quarter size around.
Nice.
I'm not sure if I still have the scar from it because it was over a decade ago. So I'm not sure I still have the scar for it.
Well,
but...
I mean, like I have a scar in between my right pinky and ring finger from like when I was like 4 and my dog bit me. So I mean,
right. That's the part that's iffy because it's just like I have scar. Now we're getting into TMI territory, but I have scars on. When I say pubis territory, I'm not meaning the hair on my dick. I mean, but that general area. When I was a baby, and I mean baby, and we'd be here for a while if I went through all the issues I had at birth because I was a 2.5-month preemie. So that'll be that. But I think I was about like a year old. I don't remember. But I can't remember because I was like a year old. The way my mother had always told it to me was, she was changing me one day, and suddenly she noticed that one of my balls was like the length of like her hand.
What?
Which on a 1-year-old is like, no. I had a hernia pop, and intestines had gone down into my ball, into my ball sack, and
Ooh.
they took me in for surgery, and they had to cut me open because again, premature, so certain the muscles that cinch clothes and keep that from happening were a little bit were underdeveloped, and that's why that happened. I guess I had pushed too hard and I had shit myself or whatever. So they had to make one incision about, I'd say, well, okay, I don't know about back then because measurements, but now it would be, a good inch or two above my dick to like, okay, put it this way, where like that V is, you see on like all the sexy model photos, that's literally where the incision. So they made it on the one side, and they made it that on that one side, went in, tucked it back up, and stitched that muscle closed. And they figure, well, we're here, he's under, let's do the same thing to the other side just in case. So now we're like that, the sexy V muscle is. I now have 2 scars that go down, and because I got them when I was a baby, they've now stretched exponentially, so, there you go. So I've got scars that have lasted from that, that young, but the one in my leg, I don't see it. Of course, it could just be, the location, because, the inner thigh is a lot of... Thank God it didn't get that artery that's like, if you get it and don't get to the hospital, you're dead.
Yeah. Isn't that, like, on your inner thigh, though?
Inner, but, like, as it's going towards, like, closer towards, like, the middle bottom. This was towards the top, towards the middle top. But you figure the thigh is a lot of fatty tissue, so I'm wondering if, like, that particular thing, it just the way it had healed up, I don't know. Or... leg hair covers. I have no fucking idea.
Funny how nature do that.
They don't think nature be like it is, but it do. But yeah, I mean, it's a pretty pretty short, simple story. Kid playing in a tree, fell, tree root got me.
Were you crying, or were you just like, oh fuck?
I don't think I was crying, because I even as a little, because I've never really had that when I get hurt. Because, I mean, even going further back, there was a time when I was like 8 years old and this is possibly the reason I hate baseball, is I was playing baseball with a buddy of mine, or the way 2 kids play baseball by themselves, whatever. Or we had a third kid, I don't fucking know. But it wound up being that it was my own fucking fault. It was my own fucking fault. I was trying to do something stupid and funny, and it wound up backfiring, so it's my own fucking fault. But he was doing the thing where, you throw the ball up by yourself and then hit it, and, As he was doing that, I was like, oh, I'm going to run up behind him and kick him in the balls. You can guess what happened. I should mention this particular kid was built like a brick shithouse even at 8 years old. He wasn't like super tall or anything, but he was pure fucking muscle. He actually played baseball. So he was pure fucking muscle. And he had one of them aluminum bats. Now, despite what everybody thinks, a wooden bat, yes, it weighs more. But because it weighs more, it's going to go a little bit slower. An aluminum bat is going to go way fucking faster. So you're going to have way more... force of impact because the speed is greater over a smaller, point of impact because the aluminum bats are much, thinner. So an aluminum bat, if in the right hands, is going to hit way fucking harder than a big heavy oak one ever will. And this was in the right hands, and it cracked me square in the face, like, okay, well, like the point of the one little side of corner of your eye goes like into your nose, that little chunk of skin, that is exactly where it got me, point blank. I don't know how it didn't break my nose.
Fuck.
But it certainly did bloody the ever-loving fuck out of it and swelled up that whole half of my face, bloody, bruised, and purple. Okay, I'm not counting, like, the initial little kid, oh, fuck, I got hit cry, because, that's kind of a given. But after, like, the first minute of that, it was just kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, my face hurts. Well, I got to go to the doctor or hospital or whatever. Let's just go in the fucking bedroom and draw while I wait for mom to get home or whatever. And that's literally what it was. Huh. That was even further back than the leg injury. So I'm like, no, I don't think I really cried beyond like, your, oh, fuck, or whatever. But it was basically like oh, fuck, I gotta get this bandaged.
Fair enough.
But,
one time I fell and I scraped my knee and it hurt real bad.
If I may steal something from Sleepycast when they were making fun of Chris.
One time I farted really hard and blood came out.
How does that even work? What internal hemorrhaging would you have to squirt blood when you fart?
I don't know. Ask Zach.
I don't know him, and I don't know if I can he'd ever respond if I asked him.
No, the little faggot psychic pebbles. I'll link you to that particular chunk of that podcast because he has this entire insanely ridiculous story about how he had like internal bleeding and was shitting blood and just it went as bad as possible with the friends being stupid. It's a great fucking story,
All right.
but
Well,
it's like a 22-minute story, so I'll link you to it when we're done here. But like, oh yeah, we could be here for days if I was counting all my injuries. What we need to do is you need to get me and Reactor on here at the same time and just let us swap injury stories because we both have some doozies.
dude, you and Unstable are like, I feel like you guys are like two halves of the same person. Like, you're the chaotic like one that, you know, the more evil, for lack of a better term, one.
I like to think of myself as chaotic good.
Yeah, and then he's like the nice one that, you know the tale as old as Saturday morning cartoon shit where like the person's like a scientist and they split themselves into two personalities. And I don't know where the fuck I'm going with this. Point is,
Wasn't that an episode of He-Man?
I don't know, I didn't watch He-Man.
You should change that. It has Skeletor in it. He's a very handsome skeleton, you know.
I'd fuck Skeletor in the mouth, make him my bitch. Just
I
like
believe what we call that in the industry is a skull fucking.
And with that, you know, this has been a pretty good podcast. Pretty good so far. I like hanging out with Stone. I like hanging out with Drac. Hope I don't ruin it. My bad attitude. Oh jeez. I was expecting it to make a bigger noise than that. Well, folks,
Just throw a noise in and post. I've got enough impact sound effects I can give you.
we need the scream that goes.
Okay, I'll whip something up for you after we're done.
Okay, cool. Link it to me, I'll put it in. Well, it's been fun. This has been the 27th episode of the Korn and Kock podcast. You know what, Drac? I had a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun. Thanks for coming on.
Always a pleasure.
Is there anything you want to plug? Anything you wanted me to put in the video description?
Any last comments?
For the 6 people that watch this?
Other than my channel link, not really. It's not like I've been terribly active lately. I've got too much shit going on.
All right,
But-
just
Same.
drop.
But I will. But this isn't a plug. But I will say. But I will end on this. This is the 27th episode. Do either of you happen to have a Bic lighter in your pocket? Because in the event that you do, this is going to be the death of the podcast. Because Kurt Cobain had a white lighter and he died at 27. Jimi Hendrix had a white lighter. He died at 27. Janis Joplin died at 27. Alex Jones.
Alex Jones. Oh my god.
Oh, it's all a conspiracy. Oh, the Korn and Kock podcast is gay.
Oh my god, that is a really good impression.
That was pretty good.
You know,
Oh my god, that is really good.
You know, it astounds me, like, when I'm not trying, I sometimes do my best impressions, and you've told me this before. But, like, when I actually try, you're like, needs more work.
Well, with impressions and voices, like, when you get to the point that they're ingrained, it becomes second nature. If you go to a point where you have to, like, consciously think about it, I'll give you an example, because it's one that I can go in and out of without trying. I need to wet my throat, though, because I did that cough laugh while I was taking a drag, so...
Lol.
Damn.
Lol XD.
As a thousands precious. No! When it tells us all about the impressions, stupid Hobbit, stupid stoned Hobbit, go!
You know, doing the Gollum voice, it reminded me of my
And
dad.
that's not even a good one, but that's because I just fucking coughed a shitload of
I
shit
mean,
out.
I think it's pretty good
Yeah, it was
for
pretty
what it
good.
is.
I've also been talking nonstop for an hour, so, like...
Not you good. But it, like, as a closing note, it reminded me of this like 2 days ago, my dad came in and he's like, hey, you want to watch Lord of the Rings with me? We're just at the part where they get to Helm's Deep and everyone's like, get ready, and just when you think they're about to die, they all die. He just hit me with that blunt sarcasm, and I was like, you know, I'm not going to come watch it right now, but I will one day, because that thing that one that one analogy made me laugh.
I still haven't seen
That's
Lord of the Rings.
have you not seen it?
I mean, I remember vaguely watching them when I was very young, but anyway.
I mean,
Anyway.
Thank you for joining us, Drac. It was fun.
I agree. Just end like The Sopranos and cut off mid-sent.
All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
You fucking ruined it.
I'm sorry.
Your bad attitude.
With
My
my
dick.
Anyway, this is Alex Jones. Thanks for joining us on the Korn and Kock podcast. I'm gonna go get banned off Twitter. See you guys later.
Bye.
Goodbye, everybody.